C-7 helicopter. They're approaching. Black and white LAPD. Okay, once again, as I enter the Trader Joe's, you have a helicopter flying directly overhead, so there appears to be like a message they're trying to give me, like for entering into this Trader Joe's. This is at a whole different time. It's around 12 on May 4th in the Commons in Calabasas.
Okay, what are the physical characteristics of the Alpha Draconians? What do they look like?
I don't have that. Maybe it's in the car. They're ugly. I mean, they think we're ugly too. You know, and I guess it's all a matter of perspective and belief system. In my belief system, and I'm only taking responsibility for me, they're ugly. They're anywhere from 7 to 22 feet tall. They can weigh up to 1,800 pounds.
In the police station, when he was being held down and the sergeant came over, he said the sergeant shapeshifted in front of him, turned into a reptile, and then came back to human, and then shapeshifted again and returned.
Direct overhead, black and white LAPD gangstalking helicopter for uploading Reptilian shapeshifter movies. Reptilians are the serpents from the Garden of Eden, and they live among us. We're talking bipedal lizard man. My name is Richard Bruce. I'm not crazy. Bipedal lizard men living among us, and they're using Los Angeles Police Department helicopters to psychological warfare me ever since I did so. And if you discover them and you start reporting on them, they want the rumor to go out. And most people do not have the balls to continue like I did, and I kept on doing it, and it wouldn't matter even if I didn't, because they'd keep it up. And it's called psychological warfare targeting or blacklisting. And for people they can't kill, they tried to kill me 3 times. In 2 of those incidents out of the 3, the assassins lost their lives. At least in one case I know about at least 1, and in one case I know about at least 2. And they're actually using law enforcement helicopters that you see here, this guy here, to gang stalk, harass, psychological warfare, believe it or not, by flying directly overhead on a continual basis, and they're also using holograms, and that could be a hologram, and you cannot tell a difference. It looks real, it sounds real, you can feel the vibration in your chest. No one can separate out the two. But they actually do this. They actually fly directly overhead, and when you're about to enter into an establishment, or you're leaving an establishment, or you're coming home or leaving from home. And it's called gang stalking and or targeting, and it's psychological warfare, a repetitive thing over and over and over again. I've been experiencing it for over 8 years. And most people, if you tell them this, if you've never experienced anything like this, it sounds crazy until it happens to you. And that's why it's a beautiful tactic, because no one around here, if I were to try to explain this to anybody, if I was trying to tell somebody exactly what that was, never believe it. But that's why I got a video camera, as you can see my hand here, and started filming this, because otherwise there would be no proof at all, except that it's hardly proof, because they can claim that they're just flying over the area. It'd be very, very tough to prove in a court of law, and that's even if they didn't own and control all the courts of law, probably, so that they would not be able to find a guilty verdict, and it would be hard to prove. But I think you could over time, maybe, but then again, it's very tough. And really the only hope is the Lord, Jesus. Black and white approaching, black and white approaching. It's funny, I just thought about taking out the camera. I said this is a stalking zone, and right when I did, this guy shows up. Ready for your close-up? Direct overhead, direct overhead. I'd say he's aware of my presence. Question is, why is he circling around here? It's time and date. I'd say these are reptilians. Just think about it, friends. There's either a lizard man or a human who's serving a lizard man, flying that helicopter, and or operating the controls for the hologram. And here comes a military chopper. Dual rotor. Black and white still circling around.
Pedophilia and Satanism go together.
And I remember, I swear on a stack of Bibles, I remember a lizard man in that office.
And these were the peoples who first told me about a race of highly intelligent beings which they called the Chidawi, the talkers. A race of creatures which look like reptiles, who have ruled the world for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
So I got a returning home buzz. So this guy was timing it for right when I would get out of my car. So I'm going to stay in my car and film it. You can hear it. It's direct overhead, black and white, direct overhead, black and white. Timed arrival home buzz. Black and white helicopter approaching as I approach my vehicle over here. You can see Calabasas Commons. Here's our time. Here he comes right here, black and white LAPD. Coming around for an intercept as like a returning to your vehicle or returning home sort of buzz. Here he is, black and white LAPD. For a stalking buzz, designed for an as I return to my vehicle, psychological warfare type buzz. Got another arrival home buzz. So as I'm arriving back to the house and about to get out of the car, here he comes. Black and white LAPD passing by. Let's see if we can get him on here. Yeah, there he goes. Just the tail end of him here, but that was a arrival home buzz, black and white LAPD, or hologram thereof, likely a hologram thereof, due to the timing. So that last movie about the illegality of U.S. soldiers, Marines even swearing loyalty to a reptilian judge caused a significant reaction.
And were there extraterrestrials there that you witnessed?
It was a raptor judge, so it was basically terrestrial personnel, a member of our services who escorted me there, and we waited outside the courtroom, which nobody was in. But then when it was ready, when it was time, I went in and stood in front of him, and he asked me some questions, made me, raise my hand and swear, and then sign some papers, got a thumbprint, and then I was on my way.
Was that to get more access to other places in the galaxy, or?
It was to grant me a authority under their legal system, which is global. So it actually was able to extend my legal authority beyond our own federal system into a global legal network.
Tell me more about the Raptors and their legal authority.
Well, they've been here longer than we have. So their legal authority is a bit bigger and a bit broader. So in order to have a larger authority for investigative powers that they wanted to give me, it was important to essentially go through that process for me to swear, promise, sign, thumbprint to them so that I was sanctioned under their legal authority, under their legal umbrella, which was bigger than the legal umbrella that my people were able to give me clearance for. So it was an extra clearance, extra authority given to me by them.
Helicopter approaching. What are the chances it will come over this way? Black and white LAPD. Passes over and turns off. See that sharp turn? Yeah, so just wanted to remind you guys, if you didn't know why I shut the comments off, it was nasty. And I took it for years, and I finally realized that it ain't worth it in my case. Now, I don't know if other people get the things that I got, but it was like, from the very get-go, my initial impression was they were doing everything they can to despair people from what I was saying. So that if you read the comments, you'd be like, this is so nasty, I don't even want anything to do with it, Or, and the amount of people that were so stupid that came and making these like really just stupid comments that it left me thinking that the YouTube algorithm was designed to direct stupid people to my site just to despair, cause me to have a feeling of despair. By the way, also, speaking of despair tactics by YouTube, they say when you look at your analytics, they say that people only watch for like this little minuscule amount of time, and it's just I could be wrong, but I have solidly decided that that's just not true. They're just doing that to channels that they don't like, that they want to make it look like people only watch a little tiny bit of your movie and then click away. Now I'm sure that happens, plenty, but not as much as what they do. They do that specifically. I know that they did that to James Corbett of the Corbett Report, which is now gone because they deleted his channel. Shame to YouTube. But yeah, so. Because I was thinking about it lately, and I was kind of feeling bad about it again. Like, oh man, I know it looks like crap to have the comment section turned off, and a lot of people just, unless you experience what I experienced, you can't empathize with that because you're like, you just haven't seen the crap that comes against you, and I haven't seen it. I mean, I've looked at a lot of comments in a lot of channels because I like to comment too, but I haven't seen what I've got, and again. initially it looked like all these shills were showing up to say discrediting comments about the shapeshifting or anything else that I was posting, especially the shapeshifting, because I think that's what the reptilians do, is they have people, you know, loaded up, ready to go, that have these comments that they can post. You know, they'll think of something, or maybe they have a whole formula, because I mean, don't underestimate the demonic realm as far as how much planning they put into it. They really put a lot of planning into it, and comments that are designed like, and what they then started to do is they started to inject comments that make it look like they're a friend to me in the first part of the comment, and then subtly slip in like a discrediting remark, and it sounds like I'm thinking too much into it, but it was amazing. I mean, I saw it again and again and again. So, you know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be people that are paid or that even know that that's what they're doing, as many gang stalking victims have told me, you know, have related the same thing, which is that a lot of people just have no clue at all what they're doing. Again, what I would say to ufologists and people that are in the, you know, the conspiracy realm, as I was mentioning before, dark journalist, Gaia, Uman TV, you know, David Wilcock, all these people that are into that stuff, third phase of the moon. And if they, you know, and they talk about things like the censorship and all the various topics, you know, the vaccines and all this stuff, and they miss that there's a single force behind it. They don't get that there is the devil that's behind it. And it sounds like some sort of old cliche thing, you know, some old preacher saying, gosh dang it, it's the devil, I'm telling you. But it's true. That's the thing about it. It's true today as it ever was. And it's unbelievable. And this is why, it starts to make sense why prayer becomes important, because God gave us that tool of that power in the spirit, because see, all these things are happening in the spirit. People don't know. See, you wonder that, you know, this is the thing I'm getting at, is that, you know, if ufologists and people that follow all this, you know, conspiracy stuff, they don't realize that it's a spirit moving them. It's spiritual forces moving them. It's not just like, see, if you just think it's just some greedy people, some evil people, you know, cancel culture people, or, you know, BLM people, or, you know, bankster people, whatever it is, you know, globalists, gotta realize it's a missing of the plot of the movie. You know, it's like trying to figure out a car, but you could never see the wheels. You can only see like the body and some other parts of it, but you just never could see the wheels. You're just hovering above the ground. The wheels were invisible, so you never even saw that it was moving on these round things. That's what it's like to miss the spiritual component of this, which is largely Satan and his demons that are controlling people's thoughts, including yours and mine. Yes. That's the important thing. See, a lot of people miss this, and it's, you know, not that they're stupid. It's because God reveals it to whom He will, and God revealed it to me through the work that I was doing, exposing demons with video, and then when I read Romans 7:18, for I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but to do good I do not know how. What he's saying is that he has all the skills, the motivation, the readiness, ready to go for sin, ready to go for something that's over the top, you know, some sort of evil thing. But how to do good, he's, you know, wait, well, I don't know, I'm not ready, I don't know what to do, I'm ill-equipped. That's because the equipment to do evil is all in us with these demons, okay? This is an important thing to understand. I wonder if ufologists, people like dark journalists, David Wilcock, all these people, I mean, you know, to me, you know, like if David Wilcock believes in the law of one, poor fella. I mean, I just, you know, I don't want to badmouth people, but it's just, there's no other way to say it. I mean, that's really getting duped by that. That whole thing is a demonic deception, okay? So every time you see David Wilcock talking about Ra and Law of One, or these ufologists on Uman TV or Gaia talking about how wonderful Ra and the Law of One is, no, friends, that I, Richard Bruce, am telling you that is straight up demonic bullshit, okay? You're wasting your time. And you know, again, it's not a matter of smart. These people are smart, so I like they're stupid. Is that God will reveal it to whom He will, and whom He'll reveal it to are those people who have drawn close to Him. They have made an effort to draw close to God. You got all these people out here that are living their lives and doing all this stuff and trying to solve the mystery of the evil and fight against the evil, and you know, they're doing all this exposing and stuff. And all this stuff that they want to do good. They want to make the world a better place. They want to stop the evil. They want to make humanity better. But they're not drawing close to God. They're not doing anything about God. Because you see, the thing is that what these people don't realize is that God has put out a way, a name to know Him and to draw close to Him, and that would be Jesus Christ and His work on the cross. For anybody who wants to believe in it, that doesn't choose to reject it, but says, you know what? I mean, I've tried everything else, or, you know, somebody's looked at it and they said, hey, you know, I've heard it a lot, but I just, you know, didn't buy it, and, you know, I'm not into religion. But they look at it and they say, you know what? Maybe I'll say a prayer to God, just asking real simply, God, can you please save my soul in the work of Jesus Christ on the cross? So there's a difference between that and saying no. And if you say no, you're going to miss out on not just a great opportunity, it's like the opportunity. That's the whole thing about it. I mean, I see these people and they're sincere. I like them. I like these people. A lot of these ufologists or truthers like Jamie Dorr. I like Jamie Dorr, and all these people are you know, and James Corbett. And I mean, you know, this just a huge list of all these people. The Gray Zone, you know, Pushback with Aaron Mate, and these people are great. Glenn Greenwald and all these people that want to do good, and I support them in their work. I'm not, you know, speaking against them or saying that they're wrong or stupid or anything. No, I like these people, and I like to get the news and what they do. But and also I should mention O'Keefe, James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. I mean, super, you know, the work he's doing is phenomenal. I mean, if you guys could support him, you should. I mean, that's somebody really worth supporting. And at the same time, I would say that if they're not getting the spiritual component of this, what's going to happen? Okay, us Christians know what's going to happen when they face the judgment on the whole world. Now, a lot of these people see it, and now if I watch these people long enough, okay, even people like Alex Jones, who as he's talking, he's relating his belief. So, you know, good for him. But a lot of these people, I know that if they never mention Jesus Christ, they're not, you know, Jesus said, if they're not for me, they're against me. If they're not gathering unto me, they are scattering. You know, that's a really fascinating thing. Like if a person isn't gathering for Jesus, who's God, who created this world and the entire universe and everything in it, if you're not doing, if you're not advocating for that, you're actually pushing people away. Arrival at Destination Buzz, Little Tokyo. Here's her time. As an example of limited consciousness of non-believers, take somebody like Dark Journalist. I don't think he's interviewed or even talks about somebody like James Rink or James Bartley. Because, like for instance, the stuff that James Rink talks about at the Super Soldier Talk channel, that stuff is so far out. I mean, he is definitely, like, you have to be able to believe in the supernatural, otherwise it's just going to look like nonsense to people. I think, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen whether Dark Journalists would talk with somebody like that, but I had no trouble believing in any of the stuff that James Rink published, with that just incredible stuff. Even with Coastal Ouch, even though I think as I clearly reversed him, he's a servant of Satan, but they all are. I think that all the super soldiers, they tend to be, it's people like James Rink and some others, because I found out I got a little bit of inside information, which I've been asked by someone to not reveal, that has, let's just say I've got my reasons for that, but what I found out from that was that these super soldiers have split personalities. One is like the good, loving person, even Christians, praying, shouting the name of Jesus Christ Christians. That's one personality. But another personality goes into a super soldier body, like a clone body. It could be like if you look at this channel, there's She-Hulk, there's super whatever, giant 10-foot tall Birdman, all these various different things that you see, and they enter into those bodies, and then they go do missions. And the personality that goes into the super soldier body is a much more ruthless, killing machine type personality, not the kind of personality that you see as the ordinary person with their YouTube channel like James Rink. Seems like kind of a benevolent guy. He's trying to help fellow super soldiers, and he's seems like a nice guy. But I bet if you take the personality that goes into the super soldier body that he gets put into for missions, if he's still doing it, I think he is still active, and they're allowing him to do this to kind of, it's like a way to break it to, the small number of people that can possibly accept this information, but it'll grow slowly over time. But so just so you understand the difference, and if you knew what kind of people these super soldiers are, you might not think so highly of them. You might be a little bit hesitant, because one of them came to kill me. I know. Well, actually, not me in particular, but our friends, and some people end up getting very hurt, and luckily we had a super healer on our staff, you might say, who was able to mitigate the worst of the damage that we suffered as a result of that super soldier attack against us, which I've covered all this in my channel previously. But so that's another thing, like I don't know for sure, but I get the feeling. I haven't been watching somebody like Dark Journalist long enough to check out all of his movies, because he makes like these 3-hour-long movies all the time, so it's a lot of stuff to go through. But that's just one thing, and hopefully he would get to the point where he could interview those people, or accept that information. I hope he does. So, and other people, other people that are into it. So, I guess there's different levels of stuff, but like, you see, sometimes you hear about a meeting at these UFO conferences, and you'll notice that with some of these people that it looks like they should be associates. People like Carrie Cassidy, should be associates with some of these people, but they're not, because they have various beliefs, various systems of thought regarding everything that's happening. So each to his own. But yeah, I really can't believe that they deleted Carrie Cassidy. She's been a staple of the revelations of incredible ufology and other stuff going on for a long time. Ever since I was really watching YouTube regularly for learning dark truth, and it's just mind-blowing. But maybe she kept talking about the vaccines or something like that, or who knows, and they deleted her channel. Alright, so what I do here is I make a little thumbnail sketch, and then in this case I traced and reversed it and adjusted a few things, and then I go on to the main drawing and just sketch it out a bit and play around with it. It's fun just to try different things, see what it looks. I'm kind of making it go for like this skinny look, you know, like this, like the limbs like almost kind of, you know, just a little bit too skinny and exaggerated. Everything's exaggerated for the cartoonish look, you know, anime look. You'll notice I put these little lines on it, and it's just to kind of get relationships that look good when you make an overall figure. If things kind of line up and you kind of make these little angles that look good, then it kind of adds to the overall picture. There's this one picture in Lotus War of Dido sitting, or Deed as it's pronounced in English, sitting with her face to the side, and it's just really well done. It's like one of the best examples of great design for an anime character I've ever seen. See, I think that if God showed William Weiss the cosmos and all the beings that were in them, and how he gave him a piece of his power, and he was in control of all of it, and he could feel how Jesus was in control of all of it.
But anyway, the Lord we kept ascending up above the Earth's surface, and we went way above the Earth's surface. We're still in a tunnel, even above the Earth. There was still like a whirlwind around us. I couldn't see it, but I knew it was there. And we went way above till we came out of this tunnel. So at that distance, now we were way out in space. So the Earth was like just a ball, you know. So I was way out in space. And I know that, again, sounds far-fetched, but, you know, the whole thing's crazy. So, but it's not. It's the truth. So, and as we were out in space, you know, it was just phenomenal to see the world hung on nothing. It says in Job 26:7 that he hangeth the earth upon nothing. It's hung on nothing. There's nothing holding it up, and you see it there. It's amazing. If all of you could see it, I'm telling you, astronauts, most of them get saved that go out in space when they see all this, because you just can't believe that this thing's hung there and turning so perfectly. And the Lord's allowed me for a brief moment to experience His power, to feel part of His power. I could feel the control He has over everything. I mean, just a piece He let me feel, because I saw the vastness of space and all the stars and all the planets. And He's in control of every one of them, and there's billions of them. And everyone has a name for them. And He knows everything that's going on everywhere. It was just mind-boggling to feel the power He has controlling all that, and watch the earth turning at 1,000 miles an hour so perfectly, and the water not spilling onto the land. I look at the ocean and think, what's keeping it from moving? You know, it could spill onto the land just a little bit. It would wipe out a lot. But God holds the land there, holds the water in its place. And I knew that He understands every thought man has. Every bird doesn't fall to the ground. He knows every hair on your head. You know, all that came into my mind, rushed in my thoughts. You know, just being with Him to grasp that power that He has. It's unbelievable. He's in control of everything. There is nothing He's out of control in. Okay, so you know, we sometimes think that, you know, God maybe doesn't hear our prayer, or why is He missing it? He doesn't miss anything.
It means that He wanted us to know. It's not like the whole subject of extraterrestrials is something that God doesn't want us to know. Otherwise, He wouldn't have given them that witness, because He knew that witness would have been given to other people, you know, and that was something that they could do. You know, they could listen to that, and it would be something that they could incorporate into their thinking. Now, God also knew that there would be scorners who would say that anything that they haven't found in the Scripture yet is from the devil. It's a false doctrine, you know. Just like I've had people accuse me, of course, of saying that the Spirit is female, as we can see from the connection of Isaiah 28 to 66. They actually use the fact that I start with one of the main verses is Isaiah 66:6. So they use that as saying, yeah, that's the devil, you know. But God says, surely God scorns the scorners. I like to keep an open mind unless I see something that's clearly against what the scripture says. Like you can triangulate that that's not what it says, you know. But in terms of things that can't be ruled out yet, and then there's a lot of other extra biblical information supporting it, then I would definitely keep my mind open. But you'll notice my mind is open to both the possibilities. That's either all demonic deception, there's no extraterrestrials, that's possible, and there could be extraterrestrials. And like I said, I do have a bias. I do want there to be extraterrestrial life. But why would William Weiss, who spent 23 minutes in hell and felt the pain and agony of that place? And by the way, William, if you happen to be listening, I noticed that you had a protectionism, like you're going to sell your witness. Definitely don't be doing that. If you're found selling anything having to do with the works of God, you're not going to make it. Okay, that's clear enough. Accepting donations, that's different, because that's in fact how the priesthood works. The priesthood is funded by people paying tithes or gifts, dedications, but freely given, not charged for anything, nothing for sale. You'll notice I don't sell anything. Well, I've tried once or twice, but it never was anything because God didn't want it to be, or I didn't want it to be, or I chose for it not to be. But I see it clearly at this time. Unless I find something really good to sell, and I'm just kidding. I'm pretty sure about it, actually. I see now why other avenues didn't work out for me, because this is what I was supposed to do. Canine units. Just flew out, circled around like that. If you're watching this, it's not too late. Say this prayer now. Father in heaven, please save my soul by the work of your Son Jesus on the cross, and show me your pure words in the authorized King James Bible.